Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the AM show. Now, let's get some more on this development story of an STC minibus that's been set on fire. We've shown you pictures of it, but let's speak to our correspondent, Fred Kwame Asari, who would give us more. And then we'll also be joined by security analyst Adam Bona as well. Let's say good morning, first of all, to Fred. Fred, I guess it's not a very good morning in the Volta regional capital of Ho. Explain what's been happening or what has happened overnight with the STC bus that was bent.
Well, good morning, Mama. I say that information we received is that about 2 a.m. some armed men came to the information here of the whole STC yard. We spoke to the driver. He narrated that he was sleeping in his car when he heard some gunshots at the back of the STC yard. So he proceeded or alighted and proceeded to the main entrance. When he got there, he was attacked by some armed men. They pulled a gun on him and asked him to go on his knees. So he went on his knees, and then before he realized, his face was on fire. He had touched the vehicle, and then it was burning. So he mentioned that he saw some inscriptions, that they were holding some inscriptions, which made him believe that these people are members of Western Prison Association. He asked that 2 of the vehicles there have been affected by the inferno. One, which was parked close to the one that was shot, had sight of each window bent, while the one that was shot has been totally bent. All installations in the car, the seat, the dashboard, the car tape, and all other installations in the vehicle has been burnt down. We spoke to the station manager. He mentioned that as it is now, they were not able to operate because the drivers here are traumatized. They are all traumatized. The one who was attacked had earlier visited the hospital and was treated. He only sustained some minor injuries, so he had been treated and discharged and he's back at the yard. But then they wouldn't be able to drive to Accra today. So today the whole STC yard is not operating. We add to that the military is here. Some officers from the Separatist artillery, that is the barracks in the Volta regional capital, who have been dispatched to the yard. So they are corroded the area and then are guarding here. We also had information that when the armed men got here, they hung some inscriptions or some materials at the backyard of the whole STC yard, which had inscriptions of Western Togoland. However, before we got here, the military has taken off those materials and then kept them. So we didn't actually see what the written on the material. But then the information we received was that the inscriptions that belong or make people believe that the attackers are from the Western Togoland. Western Togoland Association Group. We add to that ship is located in the heart of the it has home municipal shopping center. Just so what I'm saying is that you might not know what this station is.
Hello, Fred. Okay, we seem to have lost Fred there, given us an account of what may have happened from a driver who witnessed this incident. Fred Kwame Asari, is the connection better now? Can we connect again to Fred?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's just switch and go to security analyst Adam Bona, who also joins us via Zoom. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for your time. I guess before my colleague...
Mama, your voice is a bit low, so if you can raise it a bit, I can hardly hear you.
Okay, sure. Let's try again. Is it better now?
It's still very low. I can hear you.
Low.
You know, it's very faint, but go ahead.
Okay. So I was just going to say that before my colleague Fred Kwame Asari came through with those details, we didn't know of anything that was linking this latest incident to the Separatist group. Is there more that perhaps you know?
If you can repeat your question again, please.
Okay. I think we may have to work on this this connection rather. So that
the sound is very low.
Okay, the sound is very low. We're going to work on that, Mr. Adam Bona. Fred Kwame Asari, if you could, can you hear me, Fred? Hello, Fred Kwame Asari. Okay, Fred can't also hear me. So we're going to work on this connection and bring you the conversation again. So Fred Kwame Asari, Fred, I understand you're back. Can you hear me? Hello, Fred?
Yes, Mama, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Fred, how many eyewitnesses, how many people saw these men attacking the yard and setting the bus on fire?
Yes, when the incident happened, after the incident happened, then the armed men left here. A military team from the whole Separatist regiment was dispatched to the yard to guard here. So I would say about 20 of security officers from the military service are here to maintain sanity and order here. Like I was saying earlier, when we got there, we had information that the people or the armed men who came here to burn the buses hang some inscriptions or materials at the backyard of the whole STC yard, which made people believe that they belong to the suspicion with Western Togoland. That is the information we gathered.
Okay.
Residents are a bit traumatized and a bit insecure. They feel insecure.
Okay, we get that, Fred, but I'm asking the eyewitness accounts. Is it from one driver? How many eyewitnesses were there? Fred, if you can hear me, I'm asking how many eyewitnesses, how many people saw this attack as it happened?
Well, we were only able to speak to the driver. He only acted as an eyewitness at the moment. He was the one who saw the guys come here. However, aside the driver, we don't have information on any other eyewitness. But then we believe that residents around might have heard the gunshot and then might have rushed the scene. So we are now trying to affect those people and then speak to them to get their side of the story.
Okay. Fred, take us through the kind of security at this yard. Explain to us. This is an open space, not gated. I'm asking you to explain the kind of security arrangements at the STC yard. Not the current security arrangement, but what is normal.
What is that there is one man here who acts as a security. However, he's not armed. He's not from any of the security services. But then he's just here as a mere security guard who takes care of the yard when these activities come to a close. So at the moment, they don't have an armed security here, but then they only have one official here who serves, or one person here who serves as a security personnel.
Okay. And Fred, where's the driver who witnessed this incident? You said that he had gone to the hospital to be treated of some injuries.
Yes, he showed us a wound was sustained under his feet.
Oh, so you physically...
Okay, but then just that is...
You have seen him, Fred? Have you seen him and interacted with him?
Hello?
Fred, I'm just cross-checking if you saw this driver who witnessed the incident and if you interacted with him directly.
Yes. He's currently at the yard at the moment. We spoke to him. He actually gave me all the information of what transpired at this point in the yard. So he's currently here, just that he says he's a bit traumatized and that he can't engage in this activity. He's always sustained some minor injuries where he went to the hospital and has been treated and discharged.
Okay, so you've seen the exact injuries?
Yes, he showed us an injury beneath his feet. He said during the scaffolding, the armed man suffered or sustained an injury beneath his.
Okay, and how many men did he say?
Right now, he showed us that.
Okay, how many men did he say attacked the yard?
How many
men attacked?
He only showed us the wound under his big toe. It's the right leg of his big toe. That is the only injury he showed us.
I get that, Fred. I'm asking how many men attacked the yard. What has he said in terms of the number of men who attacked the STC yard?
I cannot hear you. Thank you. So he spoke to us when
Fred, come here, sorry. Fred, can you hear my question? Can you hear my question? Because I'm asking how many men attacked the yard. What is his account on the number of men that attacked the STC yard?
Exactly what I'm trying to do. He mentioned that when he heard the gunshot and then got to the entrance of the yard, he saw two of the men who pointed gun at him and then asked him to go. However, while they were going about their operations, he also heard gunshots at the backyard of the STC yard. So he can't say the number of people who came to attack the whole STC yard. However, he saw two.
Okay. All right, Fred, we'll leave it here. Thank you very much. Fred will stay with the story. He'll bring us details in terms of what is new, what happens next. He'll bring us all those details. Fred Kwame Asari, our Volta Regional correspondent. And as you know, we zoomed in properly to the venue. I see that it's a walled, it's actually, there's a wall. So this is not just an open space, a little more secured. But we're not sure who was manning the place at the time this incident happened. Let's just cross over and speak to Mr. Adam Bona. Hopefully we have a better connection. Mr. Bona, a very good morning to you again. And if you can hear me, I was asking you to give us a bit more details in terms of what you've picked up. But we now understand that there were some items left. That's the reason there is a link between the men who did this, what we see on the screen in terms of the burning of the bus, attacking the STC yard, and the Separatist group.
Yes, I can hear you very loud and clear now.
Okay,
yes, Mavi, morning to your viewers. What I have picked up indicates that there were a sizable number of young people wielding all forms of weapons, you know, who surrounded this particular facility this morning. And so, and obviously, it is safe to conclude that these guys, you know, could be one of the groups seeking a breakaway from, you know, the state called Ghana. Let's probably be mindful of the fact that these guys, it used to be just a group, one, I mean, Papavi and his people. But as we speak, information some of us have picked indicate that the numbers keep going up because it used to be one. It seems to be about 15 now. The last attack that was they undertook a few days ago, one group claimed responsibility. So we might have to wait and see, maybe by the close of today or later on this morning or afternoon, another group would claim responsibility. And anyone who understands, you know, separatists and guerrilla rebels who sometimes will take advantage of a sleepy security situation in a country or community like ours, they resort to hit and run. And so they hit you when you are sleeping. By the time you come, they vanish into thin air. And because we don't seem to have a well-coordinated security setup, these guys seems to, you know, growing very fast by the day and evolving. And so it looks like the situation is actually getting out of hand as we speak, Mamavi.
Did you say 15 different groups?
Yes, about 15 different groups. It used to be just Papavi and his group, the Homeland Study Group. That is how it started. Now we have almost about 15 splendid, they've, you know, splinter groups, just like how Osama bin Laden started Al-Qaeda, and now you have, you know, terror cells all over the Sahel, terror cells, you know, in the Middle East, everywhere. Once this group, or once a group, and it is not confronted the way it should be, you know, should be dealt with, you begin to see breakaway because obviously, just like we had a UGCC and then CPP breaking away and forming its own, you know, ideologies, you know, they begins to shift. Others begin to have, you know, ideas. And the moment they begin to split this way, they begin to, the hardest you hit, the more people or young people and resources you attract to yourself. And so that is what is going to make the fight against these people very, very, very difficult, because now you can see how many days ago, who would have thought that after Honorable Kojo Ponkroma coming to tell us the situation was under control. Some of us said most of the things, I mean, they issued out there were pure lies. Because then if you had intelligence beforehand, you could have stopped them. So what are you going to tell us this morning about this group, what they've done, and which of the groups, how much intelligence have we picked? How much of that intelligence have we processed? Why are we beginning to see, attacks in quick succession? So, Mamavi, it looks like we are in for a bumpy ride.
But do they all have the same objective, as in go independent from Ghana?
Well, usually, the objective, begins to shift. If you understand, those days, Sudan, when they fought to break away from Sudan and they had their own, they were given autonomy, you realize that afterwards, it has not been stable up to today, because then some of them seems to profit from the region conflict. And so for now, the objective would look the same. But if you go deep into it, there are usually some criminals who join, who, tend to wear the shirts of let's break away. And then what they do is probably use, the group's name to get money. And so, yes, for now, the objective looks like, yes, all of them want a breakaway. But the truth is that you would have criminal element joining them who resort to the use of violence instead of using, resorting to the use of lay down legal processes of, if you want to break away, these are some of the things you do, Mamavi.
You also did say that one of the groups claimed responsibility for what happened on Friday. Which of them?
I don't remember, but there's a spokesperson for the group that, a spokesperson for the group that claimed responsibility. And, you said, we did it, we did that, we did that, we did that. And as we speak, I don't think the security agencies have been able to locate these people. Yes, so one group, in fact, claimed responsibility for what happened in Hull recently. I don't know which of the groups, because they seem to have various groups. The numbers keep going up. And if you realize, Papavi and his group have, a flag with different, emblems and all that. This particular group that went to hoist their flags and, bent tires and took over police stations and armories and all that, also had almost similar color flags, but then some symbols differed. And so it tells you what we are seeing now, seems to be getting out of hand once again, Mamavi.
Is it surprising that we haven't had a formal statement? The police hasn't said anything. We've contacted the local Volta Regional Police. They're not speaking. They're directing us to National, and National is also not speaking.
Well, Mamavi, I have said repeatedly that it looks like the president is not being advised. It's not being given the full details of what is going on. But I do believe that in a more serious country, the president of the republic would have addressed the nation, if for nothing at all, for 2-3 hours, Mamavi. These guys who, purporting to lay a claim to part of our country, Ghana, their country, trying to break away, are taking over for 3 hours, and in their own mind, that part of their country was no longer part of Ghana. If I were the president of the republic, I would have addressed the nation to, assure the security agencies that they have my full backing. But as we speak, how many days on, we haven't heard the president speak. So no wonder you would not hear the police, speak directly to the issue. You will not, it's just ministers, spokespersons who we did not elect. They're actually speaking to the issue. The AG is as guilty as the president. The AG actually freed Papavi. The AG freed Papavi and his people, gave them lawful to go back home. And immediately afterwards, they declared independence. And we have taught that as we speak, Mamavi, have we heard anywhere that there is an Interpol red alert issued on the head of Papavi? We haven't heard it. Have you heard that there's a court warrant saying that if you know where Papavi is, tell us where he is? But when it was other people who the state thought they wanted them, not up to this crime we are seeing, There were red alerts everywhere. I mean, most recently. We haven't seen it, no Interpol alert. The National Security Boss, as we speak, should have been fired, and I've repeated it. He's still there. And if you continue to run a very flat security architecture like we are doing, Ghana is at war with these people. And you still have the National Security Minister there, who these people know that he's so docile, probably doesn't know his work. The intelligence setup, very sleepy. How much intelligence? Sleepy. He's still there. Change him. Bring in someone who could, have the full backing of the security setup. We haven't done that. If you take the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, why has he not called, what do you call that, an emergency session of Parliament? In any case, we have those areas where they took over. We have parliamentarians in that area. I would have thought that in a serious country, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament would have called for an emergency session and invited the members of Parliament in this area to come and give this country a full briefing in the open. Invite the ministers of security, come and give us a full briefing. Let us have a first-hand account of what is going on there. But as we speak, these 4 people are together guilty when it comes to the way they are dealing with the security situation in this country. The president, the AG, what's the name? The National Security Boss, for me, should have been fired among this group. And then the Honorable Speaker of Parliament. These 4 people, if you ask me, have failed us. And so you see, don't expect anything so different, Mama V. I'm sure we would have this conversation again.
But Mr. Bona, listening particularly to the Information Minister the greater part of yesterday, he gave a lot of assurances. This is supposed to be under control. Why do you seem to doubt that our security agencies have a grip on the situation?
I'm surprised you're asking me this question. The sweetness of the pudding is in the eating, isn't it? They just this done. I slept very, very late last night. It's your producer virtually woke me up from bed. And then I got up, I saw so many calls on my phones and messages and videos of the attack. So if the Honorable Information Minister, as you are saying, we all heard him, assuring us that the security situation is under control. How can a security situation be under control when these guys still go around with firearms, surrounding a national installation like the STC yard, beating up a driver and burning down some of the buses? And so mine is that some of us are not alarmists. No, these are, you see, security is just like, excuse me to say, it's like pregnancy. You cannot be pregnant and say, I'm pregnant, but no one is going to know I am pregnant. No, security, if your security setup is bad, it's going to be seen by everybody. And so mine is that the security architecture we have is so flawed that one would have expected that as we speak, heads should have rolled, the president should have fired the National Security Minister, reorganize the security sector, go to the voter region, the president should speak directly to the security agents who are supposed to be investigating this issue. As we speak, I heard from your reporter that when the military officers got there, they removed the flags. Why did they remove the flags? You don't do that. Those who hoisted these flags, you need their fingerprint. You need crime scene management. If we see this to be a high crime, what you do is that your crime scene management team should by now have surrounded this town in there, so that when they hoist the flag, you pick their fingerprints to be able to match. You go to the lab, you're able to match who is this persons who are hanging this flag.
But Mr. Bona, on the fingerprint issue, do we even have a database?
No, we don't have them, but chances are that, Mavi, they are arresting people every now and then who are suspected to be linked to this particular Homeland Study group or secessionist group. There are some of them in court as we speak, remanded. Yesterday, I did hear their lawyer speak, and the lawyer said these guys are bystanders. And remember, in crime prosecution, the trick is you must prove beyond every reasonable doubt. If you are not able to connect a suspect to a crime scene. And connecting a suspect to a crime scene must involve a lot of things, fingerprints and all forms of things. So if you arrest a suspect, an individual, and you are purporting that this individual might have committed that crime, the courts or the judge would ask you, show that this person committed the crime. You just don't say he was there. If you can connect that on the flag we took, these are the evidence. His fingerprints are on the flag. This number of them have their fingerprints on the flag. Then we might be getting closer to making sure we are arresting the campaigns behind these particular hit and run guerrilla tactics.
Well,
I am sad because it looks like we are joining the League of Nations where you have, groups rebels who are beginning to attack a certain part of this country, and no one in authority seems to be bothered. No one in authority wants to speak on this issue.
Since we don't know for sure, maybe we can assume that they collected the necessary fingerprints before they took those flags or whatever materials.
The military wouldn't be collecting fingerprints. The crime scene management team from the CID, they have been clothed with power. They have what it takes to do that. As for the military, they are fighters. They would go and do what they have to do, secure the place. But unfortunately, it looks like that's what I'm saying, that the strategy, we are using to deal with this canker is do we even have one? I don't think we have a strategy. If we did, someone would have sat down and said, this is the plan we are going to be using to fight these people. Just like Northern Ireland, they started the agitations and Thatcher and her people dealt with it and calmed the situation down. We are not, Cameroon is in turmoil. What lessons are we learning from our neighbors? What lessons? It looks like we are just watching, and before we realize this issue is going to probably get bad, Mama V, we've got to deal with this issue the way it should be dealt with, Mama V.
This is pretty still fluid, so we will certainly come back to you on what more you're able to collect on what has just happened. Hopefully, we can get official statements on what has happened. And as you've been saying, maybe we can also hear from the president speak for the first time on this matter. Mr. Bona, we'll leave it here. We thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All right. And that's security analyst there, Adam Bona, helping us understand a bit more about this situation. So you know where we are. We haven't heard from the Volta Regional Police because they're directing us to the National Police. They also haven't said a word of this. No statement issued yet, not a joint one, as we saw in the Friday incident, even though that statement came a bit later on in the day. So maybe before close of day, we would have heard from the military and the police. We've got Volta's voice. The question we're asking, is Ghana ready for a third force? Are we? Stay with us.